Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to Restaurant Management System Tutorials. Today is our lecture number 22, and in today's lecture I am going to demonstrate the order modification window. So let's start and have a look what we have today. Alright guys, so this is the home screen, and you can see we have different options, and in this window we have an order modification button. When I click on this, I have already created this window in the previous lectures, and with respect to the date, I wanted to load all the orders here inside this particular window. So let's go and create an order for today's date. So orders, now I'm selecting a Pepsi with quantity 2, that should be dine-in, and the floor is 1 and the table is 2. Okay, table 2 is not available, table 1 is not available, table 3 is available. Okay, so add to cart and then click save. It is saved, and now order is successfully placed. Now let's go to the order modification window and see whether the order is appearing here or not. Yes, the order ID is appearing here. When I click on this order ID, based on this selection, the order details should be displayed in this grid view. So close this, and we have to specify a grid that we have created inside the orders window. So select this grid, copy it, and then come here in the order modification window and paste it here. Simple. Now let's go to the SQL, and we have to pick up the order details with respect to the order ID. So this is the stored procedure that I have demonstrated in the previous lectures. So here I have to specify order ID, that was 6003 if I am not wrong, and when I select this, let us see what is the result. You can see the details of that particular item or order is appearing here. So I wanted to load these details here inside this grid view. Okay, so what are the things that are required? Category, item, price, quantity, order type. Okay, so do we have category? No, we do not have category, but we have all these things. So what we can do, you can adjust your grid view columns with respect to these columns that are appearing here, or you can arrange those columns that are in the grid view here in the query. But what I'm doing, I am removing the columns from here. Okay, so let us go to the details and edit columns, and I don't need table ID, I don't need floor ID, I don't need category ID, I don't need category, I need item ID, I need item, and then what I need as what I need item ID, quantity, price, per item price. So quantity is there, order type is not required. Do we order type? No, there is no order type. So let us come here and remove this order type as well. The floor is not required, the table is not required, the phone number is not required. Yes, the action button is required for removing the particular item or for adding a particular item. So item ID, item, price, quantity. Item ID, item, price, quantity, and then you need per item price, and you need the total amount. Okay, and the order ID. So do we have per item price? Yes, we have this price GV. Then what else? The total price. Okay, so I think this column is of total. Okay, so we have to do a change here. Let's say what we can display, total amount or the per product amount. Okay, so I'm going to add another column, that is per item price here. Okay, so per price GV, and then the heading should be per unit price, and then it should be read only, and then click add and then close. Now what will happen? The item name, per unit price, and here you should rename it to total price. Okay, and then the quantity. Okay, so let us go and push it back, quantity. So per unit price, when multiplied with the quantity, the total price should be displayed. This is what I have done here already. Okay, so I wanted to display all this record inside this particular grid view. So let us click OK, and now I have only these items. One more thing that I have to do here with the serial number column, that the auto size mode should be displayed cells. Now click OK. Now it's fine. So serial number is there. Save it. Now the next step is to load the record. So double click on your grid, and right here, if order ID CB dot selected index is not equal to -1, then come inside, and then you have to specify a function here. So private void get order details, and then come inside, remove this extra s, right here try catch, and then SQL command. You don't have SQL command here, so no problem, press control dot and use the namespace cmd equals to new SQL command, and then come inside and give your query here, that is this one. So copy and paste it, and then come here and specify your main class dot connection, and then after this close every extra thing in the code. Now cmd dot command type is equals to command type dot stored procedure, then we have cmd dot parameters dot add with value, and then come inside, and here you have to specify the parameter, that is the order id. Come here and paste it, and then you need the order id. So integer 64 is the data type in my database, and parameter I am passing here is order id, and this is the parameter that should be placed here, order id. Now after passing the parameter, we have to open the connection. So main class dot connection dot open, but we don't need the connection because I am adding the record in the data grid view. So you can write here SQL data adapter da equals to new SQL data adapter, and then it will ask for the command, that is cmd, connection is already passed, then data table dt equals to new data table. I hope these codes are clear and defined. Now I wanted to fill my data table from my data adapter, so dt, and then data grid view 1 dot data source is equals to dt, and then that's it. So what will happen when this function is called? The data grid view is filled with the columns, with the rows and the columns that are coming from this. But one more thing we have to do here is the mapping. So how can we specify mapping here? So the first column in my modification window is, let us go and check, is the item id, then item, then per unit price. Okay, so first of all I am writing here item id gv dot data property name is equals to, and here you have to specify dt dot columns of dot toString, and here you have to specify dt of, and here you can specify the column name, that is the id, what was that, it was item id gv. So item id, here we have item id, copy it and then paste it here. I think here dot column should be the correct thing. Yes, dt dot columns of this is mapped to the grid view column id. Now copy this code and then paste it, paste it, paste it, and paste it, and the next column that we have here is, let us select, that is item, then per unit price, then quantity. So item, so item gv, then per unit price, per price gv, then QUAN quantity gv, and then we have the total gv. What was the name? Let us see, go there and edit, and here we have the price gv. Okay, so let us write here price gv, price gv. Now rename the other things, it should be my item, copy and paste, then you need per price gv, so per item price, copy it and then paste it, and then you have quantity gv, so the quantity is here, copy and paste, and then the total amount, so my total amount is here, and I'm going to paste it here. So I hope it is clear to everyone. Now let us verify either all columns are there or not. So order id is still missing, so we have to pass the order id as well, but order id, we know order id is already here inside my drop down list, so we don't need order id for this purpose. Order ID is not required. Total amount I have passed, but the problem is you are selecting the record and you are giving it to the data grid view, so you need an order ID column. So I am adding optionally order ID GV, order ID, and I'm hiding it, read only, and add, and then OK. Now you have to specify here, copy and paste, and here you can write order ID GV, and the column name should be ID from the database, and it should be placed here. Simple. So now order ID is passed. Total amount, do we pass the total amount? No, we haven't passed the total amount. But if I do not create the column of total amount, then it will be displayed automatically. So what I can do, total order amount GV and total, and I am making it invisible again, and then add, and then OK. Now let us copy once more, and here I am passing total order amount GV, and for this I am removing this, and my total amount is there. This is the overall amount of the order. So this is not required in this particular detail, but because in the query we need it, so that's why I have mentioned here and I have mapped it here. Simple. So now ID I have passed, total amount I have passed, item I have passed, item ID, quantity, price, per price. So everything is now mapped. So you have to verify this. After doing this, what is the next step? The next step is to check whether the function is working or not. So the function name is get order details, and where is the order ID? Order ID is in integer 64. So to integer 64 is the convert, and then here you can specify the order ID drop down dot selected item dot toString, selected item dot toString. Okay, and now semicolon. Let us see whether it is working or not. Build succeeded, login, order modification, and I think the error is arised. Okay, it's saying that input string is not in the correct format because my orders ID CV is in data, it is a data bound control, so you have to specify the data raw view object before this. So data raw view is not appearing. Yes, it appeared. drv is equals to, and order item ID GV dot selected item as data raw view, data raw and view. So this is the class that will pick up the array from, because this is a data bound combo box, that's why I am doing this. I hope it is clear to everyone. A data bound control cannot be used as a selected item. You can use selected value in order to get the ID, but no problem. What's the next step? After doing this, you don't have to pass this thing. In fact, you have to pass drv of, and then inside this selected item, if I go to the query here, get orders with respect to date, I have only one column, that is ID. So you can write here drv of 0 dot toString. I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay, this is the query from which the orders are appearing in the drop down list, and here I have only one column, so I have passed that column as a 0 index. Simple. So whatever the ID we have of the order will be picked up from my selected index, selected item, and then stored in as an array, and then I have picked up that from 0 index. So I hope it is clear to everyone. Now start and see the results. It's login, then order modification. You can see by default the data is appearing, but the data is repetitively appearing here. So no problem. What we have to do, we have to make it selected index null by default. So where we have to do this, order ID selected index 0, yes, it's fine, and the next step is to make them null or make them selected 0 or -1 by default. First of all, go to the onload event and make here data grid view 1 dot auto generate columns equals to false. Okay, save it, and then okay, one more thing you have to specify here, you have to make the data bounding here. Now let us see what is the result. Login and then order modification, and you can see by default the first order is loaded, but I don't want this first order to be loaded here. Okay, for that purpose you have to remove the methods from onload. Let us go and remove this. If I remove this at this particular point, let us comment it out, save it, and then start. Okay, now login order, there are no orders, but let us see, there is no order ID, but here the problem is now you have to change the record. When you change the record, still the data is not appearing. Okay, because on selection change nothing is happening. Let us go and see the selection change event of the date. So when the date change, the order ID, the value should be picked up. Yes, it's fine, it should be worked, it should work, but why it, okay, one more thing we can do here, we can cut this code from the value change event of the date time picker, and we have to specify this when we come here on the order ID. Okay, so let us go and go to the events of the order ID CB and focus enter. Okay, so when we are entering here on this ID, we have to write this, but if do we apply if condition? No, we don't need to apply if condition. One thing we have to specify here. Okay, let us check first and then we'll continue. Start. Okay, login, order modification, and when I click here, you can see the data is loaded with respect to the first order, but it is still not as appropriate as it should be. So focus center is not a perfect one. Let us see some other event for this combo box. Okay, so there is an event that is known as validating. Okay, so validating, and then I'm going here and I'm going to paste my orders here. Let us see what is the result. Login, order modification. See, we don't have any orders, but when I'm going outside, the data is loaded. This is not also a correct event to do this. I think then the previous code was correct. Let us uncomment it. That means on load on that particular date the data should be there, and then when you are loading get orders with respect to date, let us go there in the definition, and the combo box should be clear first. Yes, it is clearing. And what I wanted to do, I wanted to write here cb dot selected index is equals to -1. I'm providing this -1 at this stage, and after applying this, paste it, and then come here, remove from here this order ID cb dot selected index -1. I wanted to make that selected item empty. Let us see what is the result. Login, order modification, on load, still the data is loaded. What you can do, you can remove the grid. This is also another option. If this is not working like this, then you have to make the grid view is empty by default, but the combo box is empty by default, but the data is loaded by default in the grid view due to that selected index change. So what you can do, get order details. At this particular point, we have to make the grid view clear. So on selected index change, first come here and go on the load, and after loading this, data grid view 1 dot data source is equals to null. Okay, and copy this whole code again and paste it in the value change of the date time picker. Save. Now let us see what is the result. We have to clear the grid every time. So order modification, now you can see the grid is clear, everything is clear. When I select this, the order ID is appearing, and when I click this, the data is loaded here. Simple. Now the total price should be displayed at the bottom like we have done in the orders window, and then what we have to do, we have to add some more items. For that purpose, let us go in the orders window. This is my orders window. Here you can see we have to select the item, we have to select the price, we have to select the quantity. This is the three, these are the three things that we need here. Copy, because all the things we have already saved in the in the orders window, so you need these three things. So paste it here. Okay, this is my, I think this is my flow layout panel. So this is invisible. Where is the, okay, make it Control Z first and go to the orders window. Yes, I have copied the things, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. I have pressed Control key to select all these together. Now come here and paste it. Okay, I think the label is missing. The label is not copying. It is going downwards. Select item, so I have to rearrange it. For that purpose, first let us copy one by one. First I need select item, so copy, come here and paste it. Okay, now it's fine. Then I need the drop down list. Okay, so the drop down list is here, it is appearing. Now you need the price, copy both and come here and paste. You can see. Now go to the solution document outline, and here you can pick up this label and put it at the top. Now the price is perfectly coming. Now what's the next thing you have to pick up? That is the quantity. So copy these two and come here and paste it. Again make this quantity from the document outline to the top. Now it's fine. Okay, now select these three and increase the width as per this window. Now it's fine. Okay, so let us see how the display is appearing. Order modification, and you can see the list is perfectly coming. Now I am selecting my order, and now I can select my further details. Okay, so by pressing the add button you can be able to open these controls and all that. So these are the further steps that we have to do. So let us close this and let us disable these two things as well. Properties enabled false, and these are already enabled false. Now we have to go to the sample window and order modification window. We have to override the functions. Let us go to the sample 2 window and sample 2, and here we have to select. Okay, the add button work is there already, so let us see whether it is working or not in order modification. Okay, login, then order modification, everything is disabled when you click add, but the things are not enabled. Why? We have to check this. Okay, so the main problem is this is the flow layout panel, and the add button is working on the panel control only. So what I can do, I can copy this all, or no, copy is not the good solution. Please pick up a panel from the toolbox. For this you have to pick up a panel. This is my panel, and because I have created the controls based on resetted the controls based on the panel, so put these controls here. And now first of all remove this flow layout panel. If I am not wrong, yes, this is the flow layout panel, that's why the controls were not working. Now it's fine. And inside this flow layout panel you have to pass these details inside this panel only. You have to pass these details like this, and select these together and now rearrange it appropriately. Okay, that's fine. And now move it, because now flow layout panel is not there, so you have to push it down and you have to place the details appropriately, the UI. Okay, and then this should be the, you have to arrange the font as well, because the font is a little bit smaller than as usual. This was the copy paste. So what you have to do, you have to come here and place it like this. Now your UI is perfect. Remove this panel, that was the temporary panel. The next thing, that is, select these and make their font size to 8. Now they are of equal size, if I'm not wrong. Is it 9? Yes, it is 9. So select again and make them 9. Now that's fine. Okay, so date, order ID, order, and select together all these things and then push it at the top. That's fine. My UI is finally ready. What's the next step? Let us verify. Login, border modification, and you can see when I click on the add button, still it is not working. Why? Let us verify from the sample 2 window. In the sample 2 window, I have already added the left panel reset enable. Okay, then this is my left panel, is it? Yes, this is my left panel. Then why these controls are not coming? Okay, so you notice that date time picker was not becoming enable. So let us go in the sample 2 and then reset enable, and then go to the definition of this, and here we have to add a date time picker. Okay, so copy this if and come here and paste it, and we have to specify here date time picker. If the control is the date time picker, then create an object of the date time picker, typecast it, and make it enabled true. So copy this code and write this the same inside the disable control as well. Here you make it enabled false only, simple. And enable controls, here you have to pass again, copy, and because you are only enabling the controls here, so paste it and enabled true, simple. And then I think that's it. Now let us go and start and see whether it is working or not. So login, order modification, and then click add. You can see now the date is appearing, the order is appearing, the order is appeared already. And now you need to apply serial numbers as well, and now you have to select all the items as per regular that we have done in the previous lectures. So you have to go in the orders window. You are selecting the items on load, if I'm not wrong. Yes, load get menu items. Okay, in the list box or in the drop down. So copy and come here, and in the modification window double click and paste it. Okay, and here you can specify item drop down. It is already there. So what will happen? All the items are appeared, and then the next step is when you are selecting the item, all the things that are coming here should be there as well. Okay, so you can create this code inside a method, and then you can call this at that particular point. So I'm copying this whole record, and I'm coming here on selecting item, double click on it and paste it here as well. Simple. Or you can create a function so that the code should not be repeated. Now I don't need picture, so I'm removing the picture code. If you wish to add a picture box, you can do that as well. So let us go and add a picture box from here. So copy and then come here and then go to the design and then paste it at this particular point. Okay, so that's my picture of the dish. Let us see whether the error exists or not. No, the error is removed. Everything is perfectly working. So let us start and see what is the result of this. So basically now the rest of the task is same as the orders window. Okay, you have to now add the orders and you have to calculate the total, and then the status of the order should again become 1, so that it can be able to go on the chef window. So let us select, okay, on clicking add button, no problem, first select this. Now you can see the data is appearing, the price is also appearing. We can debug that orders later on, no problem. On selection the image is not there, I think, but we'll see it later on. So I hope you have understood how things are going on here. And now I have to press apply an add button here. When I click on the add button, the item should be added in the grid. So let us go and apply the add button. Orders window, that's my add to cart, copy, and then come here and paste. Select your image, put it down, put it here. Now that's fine. Now image should be there, and save. This is your add to cart button. Double click on it, go to the orders window and copy the code. Simple. Here you can see all the data is coming here. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to copy this, but you have to remove the code. We don't need all this. I'm just first copying it. Copy, order modification, come here and paste. Now we don't have any category, we don't need any floors. Okay, so first of all check the controls. So the check control method I have already demonstrated in the previous lectures. Now for every item it is checking, and then I don't need floor, I don't need tables, I have removed. If the item already added, then it will not added. Then the category name is not required. Order type is also not required, because we are not dealing with the order type. Okay, so I am removing this else code, and I am removing this if also. Now the total amount, total label text, this is not there. So let us go to the orders window, go at the bottom, select this, but where these are into, these are in panel 5. Yes, so copy, right click on this, copy, and then undock it, undock from the parent container, and make it a little bit smaller so that you can be able to adjust it. Now right click here and paste. Okay, where was that? Okay, in the right panel it is appearing here. Where is that? Let me pick up, bring to front. Okay, it should be where I should place it. I should place it here. Okay, make it dock none, select it. Okay, so you have to arrange it accordingly, because you have copied and pasted. Now put it at the bottom, dock bottom. Okay, and now bring to front. Okay, press Ctrl Z. The things are going in a different manner. First of all, make it dock top. Okay, dock top. Okay, so the grid view is dock topped. Now I wanted to select this and put it at the bottom. So see, now is it appearing at the bottom? Yes, it is appearing at the bottom now. Now make it dock fill. So dock in parent container. So you can see the grid is appearing perfectly here in my. Okay, so order label, total label text is removed. Now we need to add the total amount. So let us go to the orders window, and where is the total amount? Right click on total amount, go to the definition, and you can see here we have the total amount. Copy it and place it in the order modification, paste it here. Simple. Now what's required? Now we have to add. So the first column in my grid here in order modification is the serial number, so I have passed null, that's fine. The second column we have is the item ID, if I'm not wrong. No, it's total. So let us move it, push it at the end. So order ID, then item ID. Okay, so remove everything. The first column is order ID. So do we have order ID? Order ID. The order ID is in the grid, sorry, is in the drop down list here. Okay, and where we have picked up the order ID in the DRV. So we have to write here data raw view again, data raw view DRV equals to, and order ID combo box dot selected item as data raw view, data raw view. That's it. And now you have to specify DRV. First of all, make it convert dot to integer 64 int 64, and here you have to pass DRV of 0 because that's the first column ID, order ID, and then we have to pass the next item, that is item ID, and then item. Okay, so where is the item ID? Item ID is convert dot to integer 64, and then you have to pass the item ID. So item drop down dot selected value dot toString. Okay, and then you have to pass. Okay, one more thing that I have to do here is cut it and paste it here. Now you are adding in the grid. Now the next thing after item ID is the item. Yes, item, then per unit price, then quantity. So where is the item? Again, item is inside the grid, sorry, inside the data raw view. We have to add, so DRV2 for item, and here we have to specify item drop down dot selected item, and now you have to specify DRV2 of 1 because the item name is appeared as the first column dot toString. Let me show you. When you are selecting your item, the ID is at the back end. That means on the 0 index there is ID, and on first index we have the item name. Okay, this is a data bound column, so that's why I have specified 1 here. Okay, now the next step is, after adding the item name, we have per unit price, then quantity. So where is the per unit price? Per unit text, PUP text, if I am not wrong. Okay, let us see what is the name of the text box. It is price text. Okay, so you have to specify convert dot to integer 64, sorry, to double because it's price, and here you have to specify price text dot text, and then after price we have quantity. So quantity is inside the quantity text dot value because it's a numeric up down. Okay, but here you have to make it convert dot to integer because it cannot be. Okay, but we don't need integer as right now, leave it as it is. And then we need, after quantity, let us go and see the total price and the total. Okay, total order amount. So this is the total price. Okay, so the total price should be appeared how? Per unit price multiplied by quantity. So what you can do, you can write here convert dot to double, and here you can pass per unit price, that is this one, multiply by the quantity. So copy and convert dot to integer 32 and then paste it here. So what will happen? the total price will be calculated and displayed here at this point. So I have directly calculated this record. Now let us see what is the result in order modification. Login, order modification, add. I will see this error, no problem. There is something, null value is passing there somewhere. So select, your order is selected, your item, let's say you wanted to add a chicken steak, that's 450, that quantity is 1, and then click add to cart. Okay, the error is there. Okay, rows cannot be programmably add when the control is a data bound control. Okay, this is another problem. What it is saying that you cannot add a user defined row inside a data bound control. So this is also another problem. What you can do, you can show the existing order details somewhere else in some other grid view, and you can add the new record inside this. Okay, so what you can do, you can make it null, but when you make it null, that existing record will be cleared. No issues. I hope you have understood this error. This grid view is picking up data from a data source, and you cannot add manual record inside this. This is the main problem, but the time is about to finish. We'll continue it in the later classes. So hopefully I am expecting from you that you can do this up till now, and I am expecting from you that you can be able to do the further work by yourself as well. So that's all for today. Signing off from now. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.